Welcome to Moonlight Madness, and today I'm doing the sign for fire, Sun, Moon and Rising for 2023. And I felt the need to do fire because I think someone said there's a March moon, or there's a lot of Aries energy around at the moment. So if you've got an Aries Sagittarian or a Sagittarian Aries or Leo in your chart, then this is for you. And the first card I pulled, and this is from the deck by Doreen Virtue and Radley Valentine. This is my favourite deck. And the Fairy Oracle by Lucy Cavendish and artwork by Selena Fennick. The first card I pulled was the Moon. Now the Moon card can represent you. You might be a reader, a fellow reader. Or you may have a very strong intuition at the moment. You should listen to your intuition because it is guiding you at the moment. Powerful intuitive epiphanies may come to you when you're sleeping. You may get downloads. Psychic awareness, seeing what you didn't see before, the power of astral dreams, and becoming a professional intuitive reader. It's sending you messages about the next step to take. Synchronistic events or symbols and sleeping dreams. Be aware of people wearing a mask and not truly allowing you to see their sadness. They're trying to hide their pain. Six of Pentacles is crossing the path. Now maybe you have to pay back someone for something that you borrowed, or you feel the need to give back in some shape or form, whether it be through volunteer work or volunteering your time, your effort, your mentorship in a role where people are learning your trade or skill. You could be a YouTube influencer. You may be teaching people how to put makeup on or how to do styles of hair or fashion, or guiding people on how to shade on contour. Could be many things. Could be just doing something where you're instructing online. And maybe you have excellent advice you could offer someone. Be wise in giving and receiving. It's important to know what organisation you're supporting, so do your research. King of Cups is the past influence. So you may have been involved with a Pisces, a Cancer, or a Scorpion. Sun, Moon or Rising, or just one of those star signs. They are honourable, they're devoted, they're mature, they're warm-hearted. They could be someone who's involved in artistic or creative endeavours. They may be associated with an artist, a local artist, or a foundation will listen to all your fears, sadness, and provide amazing predictions of future events. Humanitarian, come across as very intense. He's been through a hell of a lot, and he's very protective of friends and family. May have been a true love. This was your past person. Then you've got here the Two of Winter. It's a bit wet. My air conditioner's leaking water, and yeah, this is the best table to do it on because it's got more room. So the Two of Swords is to do with trying to figure out your head and your heart. So if you're someone who's trying to follow his heart, but you've got someone telling you what to do as far as the family might be suggesting you to do a different career, you may have to listen to your heart. Everything you feel is based on emotion anyway. So it's saying here, in the recent past, you could be feeling trapped between the intellect and the emotional, ignoring the problem and hoping it goes away, indecision that previously held you back, movement to trust yourself, torn between following your head and heart. And the angels will give you the signs. Your own spiritual guidance will lead you to where you need to go. Then you've got balance. Now balance is my Libran card. If you've got a Libra strongly in your chart, strong placement in Libra in your astrological chart, that could be representing that. Or you may have a Libra who's a son or a daughter or family member, or be born under the Libra moon. I know I have a dad who's Cancer, but he was born under a Libra eclipse. And everyone in my family, we're all very stubborn. We were born under a Taurian eclipse, or a Taurus moon. So that's where the moon could be, if that's how it's sort of when you were born. Then you've got balance, it's crowning you. So we've got that one there, we've just looked at, which is the Libra energy. And it says it's in your birth chart, taking everyone's input into consideration, a bit of moderation, a bit of self-restraint, a reaction that's appropriate to a situation, a win-win. Pause and take a few breaths or go on a nature walk. A reflective walk can glean new insights or knowledge about future events. You're balancing out your masculine and your feminine energies. Princess of Cups is in your future. This is someone you'll be meeting in the future. They could be a male or female, depends who I'm reading for. And it talks about that they may be a Scorpio, Cancer or Pisces in your future outcome, with one who was younger than you, either in age or maturity level. Someone young at heart who may have a gold medal if it was a daydreaming that they were really good at. Or they're into sports, they're poetic, they like to write or to journal. Sometimes when you can't express your feelings and you've got so much emotion, they have big emotions, these children that are special needs children. Some of them can have big emotions, and I'm included in that. They are gentle and sensitive and are romantic. They will listen to all your worries with compassion, but just keep in mind, this person perceives everything through her feelings. She may act on pure emotion and then regret her impulsivity instead of thinking things through. They love their private garden, if you've got one, or they just might like their alone time. Then you've got the Eight of Wands. The Eight of Wands is juggling. It can also mean air travel, going on a holiday by air. You may have just come from that. You may have just been on a trip away, and you took a flight. And it's talking about juggling responsibilities. So whether you're juggling family, friends, decorating your home, a house, it can mean that. And it can also mean business travel, confidence, rapid events, new career, your fitness, decorating your home. You wouldn't wish any of that away. You're multitasking, but expect big increase in action. Make every task prioritised. Delegate from your to-do list to others and be grateful for all of the wonderful things in your life. 8 dandelions, 8 wishes coming true. Then you've got the Magician. The Magician, I call this the rock star of the zodiac. And so this person may be on stage, they may be in the spotlight, they may work for theatre. There's nothing you can't accomplish. The fairies are magical, can help you manifest whatever you are needing in order to be a success. The resources you require will just miraculously turn up. Can't speak today. Maybe you can't talk about it. It's something you're not supposed to speak about, what you're dreaming up. You're not meant to tell too many people because someone might steal your idea. Money, innovative ideas, creative abilities, or friends who are willing to help out. Understanding that you are what you already have versus what you're in need of allows the fairies to send you these things to manifest these gifts. You have amazing skill and creative talents that you can rely on. However, it's also wise to seek out good advice from experienced people. Allow others to open doors for you or make introductions to those who can point you in the right direction. Our Magician has accomplished this climb to Glastonbury Tor, where he accessed additional wisdom and protection. Now he's walking along the easier part of the path towards the base of the mountain, taking charge of your life, success due to excellent training, and the talent to accomplish great things. So visualization. So there's a sports mentality that they use in running. Well, I used to do it, which I want to get back into. And what it was I would run, but I walked the run before I did the run, so I knew what to expect. So I could visualize it in my mind, how far it was going to be and how I was going to adjust my breathing for getting up the hills, or to pace myself with breath work when I was running on the flat. So I would train 2 kilometres a day. I would run, or 4 kilometres a day, which is like half an hour run, on the flat. And I'd do that, and then I trained for the hills. I did 6 months worth of hill training, which was on if anyone knows Newcastle, Brown Street. I used to train on that. Now, if you don't warm up, you can go over on your ankle and you can sprain it. And I actually did go over my ankle. I didn't warm up, and I was trying to demonstrate to my son, this is how you do hill climbs. I was getting him into fitness. And then I injured myself. So very important to warm up before you do anything, like stretching and everything. So it's a marathon, it's not a sprint. So what it's saying here, the end game is what you need to focus on. Not the visualization is on getting there, but there's a lot of behind the scenes work that you might have to do. Some of you may work behind the scenes as a producer, because that's the moon card, working behind the scenes. And so what I'm saying is you have to kind of visualize it, and before you run the race in your mind, and that's what he's doing. He's got at the bottom of the hill, and he knows he's got to run right up to the top. He's navigating it with his mind. He's visualizing it. Then you've got here the Four of Spring. Some of you may be moving house in the future, so this can be peace and happiness. You just might be grateful for wherever you currently live. I know in this climate it's hard to get rentals, so everyone's just lucky to have a house. Feeling that life is wonderful, pride in your accomplishments, a deep sense of peace and happiness, and a contented personal life. And you might be looking at buying a home eventually. Some of you might want to save up and get a home if that's what you're looking at. A good time to take your family, your co-workers, the fairies and God, a circular flow. Every day give thanks for something in your life. You can do so aloud or just in your prayers. The card also indicates new reasons to celebrate that will soon make themselves known. You may need to set aside time for social events like weddings, engagement parties, things like that. You may be invited to these places and celebrations. And then you've got a Princess of Spring. This is like your outcome. This is to do with a creative, energetic, enthusiastic fire sign. This may be you. In the future, you may get back to being how you used to be, with dancing, singing, creating, running, drawing. Just an overfilled cup is what I'm trying to say. Your cup may runneth over. You may be abundant with energy, and you need to channel that somehow. I know I've got ADHD symptoms, and I've got to really wear myself out so I sleep well. That's just me. I wouldn't have it any other way. These types of people can be really good at nursing because they've got the energy levels to do the long hours. Princess of Spring, and it can also mean you've got that in your chart. You might have Sagittarius in your chart, Sagittarius, Aries, or Leo, because with the Magician that was pulled up earlier, I would say more Aries energy and Aries ascendant. Truly exhilarating to get to know the Princess of Spring. There's no experience she doesn't want to have, no creative endeavor she doesn't want to experiment. Painting, singing, dancing, acting, she wants to try it all, and her optimism is very contagious if you spend time with her. She's enthusiastic, she's remarkably creative, she exhibits an almost childlike exuberance for life that will have you smiling. She's an eager volunteer. Anyone would be lucky to have her on their team. Just in mind that all this energy, it can be tough to keep focused, and that's part of the problem with ADHD. I lose focus really quick, I get bored really quickly. She's easily distracted by the new opportunities and can wander off before completing the other task she has in front of her. The little girl fearing the Ace of Spring has grown up, and so has the holy hawthorn tree, which is tending and planted by Joseph of Arimathea in Glastonbury, is up for grabs. So the hawthorn tree represents Christmas time. So something around Christmas time you may be celebrating. Hopefully something good like a wedding or an engagement to someone who is a water sign. And then I'll pull these cards. This is just the Fairy Oracle deck. Oh, Barnabas and the Prince. This is the Taurus card. I get this is like the Prince of Pentacles. And Scared to Fly. That can be visualization. You may have the gifts to do a job, but you may not think you've got it. You may not think you're ready yet. So some of you out there may have been training for something, but still don't feel you're properly prepared to go off and do it at the moment. This travel, meeting destiny, a dream, a vacation, or purposeful activity. Use the power of your voice to call out for it. Let the world and the natural world know that you wish for them to deliver. Seeking out a mate, actively searching for a soulmate, searching for your other half in order to be in alignment with your dream. For your dream to dream you must be walking the right path and be in the right place at the right time. So this card reminds you that staying in your present comfort zone will not bring about that which is in your heart you yearn for. You must become active and create. It also reminds you that travel and adventure can bring about soul growth that will let your song grow stronger, and it is this way that your soul kind can find you. Have no fear. The drought will be broken, but you must be an adventurer. Your tears will cleanse the way. You'll change several times throughout this lifetime, reincarnating within the one life. You do not need to die to go home to be with the one you love. What kind of transportation do you use? It may be time for a rethink. So you may have to get a new car. Maybe there's something wrong with the original car. And it's Scared to Fly. That is 18. Some of you might be in the Air Force and can't fly off to do anything just yet. You've got to wait and see. It is time to sense the atmosphere and wait for the right moment. It is not time to go when you are told by another, but when you know you are ready. It may look like hanging on or fear to others, but in fact you need a little bit more to support you, and then you can fly high. It is truly about sinking into lunar cycles and finding the right time for this venture to take flight. When planning this step, be sure to do it at the right time, when the moon, the energies, and nature herself supports moving forward. Learn more about the natural festivals and the lunar cycles and plan your trip accordingly. Do not rush. Know that good things do take time, and that slowly can indeed be a worthy way to work. Rushing can create dilemmas, so sense out what is right for you and get clearer to fly higher than ever before. So if you're going on a space mission or whatever it is, it can represent having to wait a bit. And I pulled out a movie the other day. It's called Highway to Heaven, and it talks about angels that appear, and he's there to go and do the good in the world. And I was trying to tell my son that angels walk amongst us, even though we don't necessarily think they're earth angels, but they can come in the form of a human that has spiritual insight. So I read this part of Signs from Spirit, which is by Mitchell Coombs, and there was one bit about if you have loved a child and they go onto a sporting team. This boy's name was Alex, and he got hit in the head by a ball, and he talks about this, and he's dropped to the knees, and they're going to call an ambulance, but then the coach says no, there's no time. So they use a blanket volunteered by a stranger. Sonia, Zoe, and the coach put Alex's unconscious body to the back seat of the car. Following the coach's instructions, Sonia phoned ahead to the neurosurgeon for it to be on standby, and the coach travelled back in the car, all the while cradling Alex's head with his hands. When Sonia stepped in the emergency department, a nurse assistant rushed to the car. Alex's body was transferred to a gurney, a pool of blood on the blanket. It was life or death. Hours felt like days as Sonia watched the clock in the waiting room. While I sat there comforting Zoe, I asked if she knew where the coach had gone. That's when Zoe sat up confused. What coach? It was just you and me, Mum. At that moment, Sonia realised, I've got goosebumps, an angel had saved her son. So it's telling you that they walk amongst us, and, you know, that gold coin that appears from heaven, that free food that arrives on your doorstep and you didn't order it, the tub of coleslaw that was sitting on a step yesterday and just sat there, and I thought someone must have left it behind, but these are all signs. These are all small signs that whatever you're needing, it's the power of manifestation. If you're starving, hungry, and you haven't got much money left in the bank, and you're thinking, what can I make up with the food that I've got? And then all of a sudden this tub of coleslaw appears. That's a gift from the universe. That's my belief. I think people don't realise that they ignore these little miracles that happen and occur every single day. The day you miss the bus, and the reason you missed the bus is because that bus has an accident, and the people on it have been, the bus has to be stopped because someone's jumped on the bus and tried to scale a building. That happened to my children. Because they missed the first bus, they got the second bus, and this man who was not well was climbing a building, and if they had caught the first one, they could have been in trouble with this person who needed some mental health workers to help him. That was going back before COVID. You know, the car that you go to drive, it won't start, and the reason it won't start is because the electrical system's blown, and if you had driven it, you would have broken down somewhere. Too hard to pull it, would have cost you a fortune. You know, there's little things, there's little signs and synchronicities that people just don't pay attention to, that are meant, if you're not meant to go somewhere, don't go somewhere. I remember there was one time with my son, and he didn't want to go to school. He was scared. And there was all this red dust that flew over our house in Mayfield. And we found out later the reason why is because there was a dust storm. That's all I have for you.